What's up, everybody? Arrg the Pirate here, and today we're going to play a little Sevarog in the solo lane. As always, let's go over the deck. Now I have Auto Health Potion, Fast Travel, Mana Generator, Healing Towers, Mana Reactor, and Shredding Strikes for my gems. Now for my cards, I have Exoskeleton, the Mother Tree, Flame of Zechin, Possessed Spry-Kin, Growth Totem, Guard Piercer, Swift Hunter, Vital Waters, Thundercleaver, Numbing Rouge, Trapper, and lastly Unbroken Spirit. Now, before we get too far into this video, guys, I gotta say, I'm absolutely terrible with Sevarog. He's probably one of my least played heroes, but it's been a very long time since I made a Sevarog guide, and I've had a couple of requests for it, so bear with me, guys. Like I said, I'm terrible with him. I've just never found myself playing him very much, and, you know, one thing about Sevarog is he is that expert level, I believe, or he used to be anyways. They've kind of reworked everybody, but it's not so much that, hey, you have to spend a lot of time to be good with him. It's you have to spend a lot of time to really fully grasp how to use his kit properly and everything like that. And while I might have a leg up on most people, in Sevarog's case, it's no different, guys. I don't play Sevarog, so there's a lot of things that I might not know that, you know, hey, they might be critical for you. But if you are looking to get into Sevarog, this is primarily how you would start out, is, you know, something like my gameplay. Now, the one thing I can say is you need to pick up your Siphon very early. And, you know, maybe make it your first ability, if not your second. But you want to pick it up early so you can start getting those stacks. Your final stack is reached at, like, not 185, 200, it's crazy high. So if you want to get all your stacks online, you definitely have to pick that up early. And when you're really in that laning phase and really trying to farm, you know, really well. So pick that Siphon up early and, you know, use it to the best that you can. Now, Steel is a pretty decent counter pick to a solo lane Sevarog because, you know, that Obliterate armor is fairly decent, and a lot of Sevarog's damage comes from that Siphon, especially when you start ranking it up higher. You know, his basic attacks are basic attacks. I mean, they hit about just as hard as anybody else's, but Siphon hits like a truck, especially whenever you start getting those stacks online. So, you know, Steel does a pretty good job of, you know, being able to negate a lot of that with, you know, the ability to have that Obliterate armor. And since he has a solid stun, and Sevarog doesn't have a stun, you know, hey, he's a decent counter pick. But, you know, we should be able to do all right. Now, I am in the middle of the enemy minion wave, and you can see I took quite a bit of damage there. Although we might have been able to wrap up that Steel kill, it definitely wasn't worth the risk. I'm going to go ahead and pick up my Aqua buff, head back down, push this lane a little bit more. Who knows, we might even be able to snag this kill if I can get a decent root off. But, you know, we are in a higher level match. I'm actually in a solo queue, so I don't think the enemy Steel is going to make that mistake. And, you know, I can definitely count on him doing it, but I don't think he will. And one of the good things about him being as low as he is and that Aqua buff, you can see I'm able to get my farm, and I'm actually going to be able to put on Possessed Spry-Kin, and come back even stronger. Now, I did mess up there. I definitely should have put a point into Vitality so I could pick up Possessed and that Exoskeleton, but I don't know what I was thinking, guys. I thought I had enough to pick up Possessed and the Mother Tree, but, you know, of course I don't have enough to do that. So that kind of ruined that plan. But hopefully we will have a damage spike, or, you know, a little bit of an advantage over Steel. He does actually back and put on Possessed, and he doesn't mess his build up and puts on Exo. So we are on, you know, not quite a level playing field, but since I was able to put it on a little bit faster, and I'm able to do a decent job of farming, you know, we have got the advantage as of right now. Now at 5 minutes in, Steel heads down to pick up the Aqua buff, and we're going to go ahead and snatch that from him using that Subjugate. And, you know, we're just kind of going in on Steel a little bit. Now I see our Rampage heading towards us, so I'm actually going to use my Colossal Blow, knock him right into Rampage, and, you know, I use my root again, which, hey, I've landed 2 in a row, guys. I mean, that's amazing. I can't tell you how awesome and proud I am of myself for that. But we actually end up getting that pretty easy kill. And this is going to allow me to get back in lane and continue my farm. Now, again, guys, it's very important to get farm with Sevarog. Now, the milestones have changed. They're now 20, 60, 120, and 200. And if you didn't know, every time you hit one of those milestones, your shoulder pads get bigger. So that way, you can kind of visually see where you are. And at 200, you know, you get these huge ones that make you look all menacing and ghoulish. But it's really important to get those stacks because they not only help you, you know, with that passive ability of getting more damage and having just a little bit more health, but if you can farm well, you know, you can get a huge advantage because not only are you farming well, you're getting those card points, but you're farming well and you're naturally getting stronger. So that's absolutely huge. Now coming up, I actually go in onto this Steel a little bit, and you know, he does have Exoskeleton, so he does have an advantage over me right now, and I definitely need to be aware of that. And you can see he's hitting me with those stuns, he's actually doing a little damage, and I'm just not going to risk this, so I'm going to zip out of there and just kind of let this lane push. You know, it doesn't bother me that this lane is pushing back either. You know, that's just going to make it a little easier for me to farm as well. And again, I'm just going to kind of zip out. I tried to secure some kills, but no problem. He's going to be able to pick up Aqua buff, and that's going to top him off with health. But that's quite alright. I've got healing towers on. I'm just going to stay under my tower, heal up as much as I can, and, you know, try to do the best of getting these souls, because that's where my advantage is really going to come from. If me and him run the exact same deck, but I'm getting souls, you know, I'm going to be at the advantage. So that's what I really want. And him being pushed up this far is also going to allow my jungler to rotate and, you know, get a successful gank whenever he is ready, kind of like we did earlier. Now, I am just going to slow farm, you know, let this stay up close to my tower. This is going to get me more and more fed and rob Steel of, you know, if he's missing 1 or 2 minions a wave, that's absolutely huge. That's 50% of minions. So, you know, we're doing a great job of starving him of farm. Now, you see here we're able to go in on this Steel a little bit, and I follow that Colossal Blow up with a root, and, you know, we end up running out of mana, or we might have been able to make something happen. But since we both have possessed Spry-Kin, you know, unless we have enough mana to actually live through an entire attack, or, you know, burn down that entire attack, we're just going to heal up through it, both of us anyways. So I'm just going to go ahead and disengage, head back to base, throw on a couple more cards, and start working my way towards Thundercleaver. I'm very interested to see how Thundercleaver does, and that's what I'm kind of working for now. Now, whenever I do head back to my lane, Wraith is here, and Steel ends up going after Wraith, so we're going to use that Colossal Blow to back him off, and, you know, Steel's a goner at this point, guys. You know, the Colossal Blow is just such a strong ability with that displacement tool. You know, you can really force heroes, or, you know, the enemy heroes anyways, you can really force them to, you know, put themselves in bad situations. And you can see it allowed our Wraith to stay at a distance and just continue to constantly peg that Steel, and, you know, I'm there to just do that little bit of damage that I am able. So, you know, that really ended up being just an amazing fight right there. And with that death, we're actually going to head into this tower, and we actually get to down this tower. Even though we don't really have a whole lot of power, you know, we're able to do quite a bit of work here. Now, once I do down that tower, I have to be conscious of the counter push. You know, there's definitely going to be a counter push. I need to be aware that there might be a jungle rotation. That's why I backed all the way up to my tower. And I'm just going to head on to the, try to do some work onto steel. We actually get this Colossal Blow off, and I use Subjugate. Now, Subjugate has a very short range, guys, and, like I said, never play Sevarog, so, I'm not used to it. But we end up doing a little bit. We were able to make some decent plays, even though Steel definitely got the better of that. The CC game is real, guys, and Steel has one of the best CC kits in my opinion, and it's very hard to go against a Steel, especially one that's building close to the same cards you are. So, as of right now, Steel might win a head-to-head fight. We just have to pick the time and the place, and, staying under tower, having him, engaged this far out, this is pretty good on our part, and we can wait for some jungle rotation, or earlier when that Wraith rotated. We've got these 2 kills onto Steel, and neither one of them have been solo, guys, and that's huge. Now, when you start talking about the higher level plays, or just kind of climbing that ELO ladder, guys, you really start getting less of solo kills and more of team kills, and this is really kind of showing y'all kind of a taste of that. Nothing I've done so far has been by myself. I've gotten, a kill and assist, and they've both been, with a teammate, and we go in onto this Countess, and again, that is followed up by that Wraith. And I'm not in comms with anybody. This is just, this is how you kind of change the way you play when you want to start climbing that ladder, guys. And I know a lot of people are interested in that, and you can see, just try to stay away from killing people solo. Not a whole lot of heroes out there can actually do that. Now, we were going in on that tower, but once their Terra showed up, hey, we got to get out. And I went ahead and got out of my invis, used that route to prevent our Wraith from dying. And, I did go down the same way he did, which probably was not the best idea. But we ended up maybe saving him. If not, hey, it's no big deal. We didn't really lose anything for that. And we're going to head back to our lane, and we get this lane pushing in the right direction without taking really any tower damage. Now, we get a couple of amazing fails right here. Our Rampage missed his rock, and I missed my Subjugate, which feels bad, man. But what can you do? Steel is pretty tricky. He was able to get out of that with that knock-up, which, that stunned Rampage long enough for him to take a couple of steps, and me missing that Subjugate, that ended it. And Subjugate does take a little bit of time to activate. It's definitely not instant, and it's taken me a while to get used to it. But like I said, guys, I don't play Sevarog, so... Now, I did end up throwing on Thundercleaver. I really want to try out Numbing Rouge as well, but I'm going to give Thundercleaver a shot. I really like this card, guys. So, I'm definitely going to try it out at the beginning, and we'll see where it goes from here. But, as of right now, I'm hoping that it will just kind of prevent me from, or, help me get these kills a little bit easier as Sevarog. Now, once I get this lane pushing in the right direction, I didn't set it or anything. I just have it pushing in the right direction. And I'm going to actually head to mid lane. Now, Countess is here, and we miss our Subjugate again. Guys, I'm terrible. But with this huge collapse, hopefully we'll be able to make something happen. I'm not going to waste my Colossal Blow on that. There was really no need to. And we're able to wrap that Countess kill up, no problem. Now, I'm going to head back to my lane. Sparrow is there, and their Steel's got to be very close, so I definitely don't want to mess with that. And you can see our Rampage is chasing that Sparrow a little bit, but really, there's no need to do that. Sparrow was retreating. We don't know where their jungler is. We don't know where their solo laner is. There's really no need to chase that, and sure enough, their Steel shows up right where Rampage was, and he was pretty lucky to get out. And so, this is really going to allow me to push my lane a little bit further. But once I see Steel show up, hey, I need to get out. Now, my team is currently picking up Raptor, and our ADC, our ADC and support got caught out a little bit, but we lost a support for a Fang, which is not the worst case scenario. And, hey, that's not too bad. Now, I'm going to go ahead and try... Man, I thought I hit that Subjugate. And I was going to try to knock Sparrow into our tower. and hopefully get some damage on her. But that didn't happen. That was a bad call on my part. I should have made sure that I got that root, but didn't do that, guys. And, I was really trying to do that because I know I'm not going to be able to defend this tower. And you can see, they've got a pretty decent minion wave. Steel's there. That Sparrow's there, I'm not going to be able to defend that. And even if I tried, Steel would probably ult me and take me out. Now, the Steel and Sparrow just left, and Rampage is actually heading over to us, and with Terra on his tail, and, he just gets caught out, which there was nothing I could do at that point. I knew it was coming, but he was just running in a bad way. And I know he was probably coming over to help, but, with having that ADC and that Steel, it was GG. So he unfortunately gets caught out trying to help me probably. But, hey, is what it is. We're going to go ahead and go back and switch out this Thundercleaver. Now, I do go ahead and throw on Numbing Rouge and Growth Totem. And, I'm a big fan of Numbing Rouge as well. I think it's an absolute great card. It's not quite the powerhouse as it was, but it's still a very solid card. So, I can highly recommend trying it out at least. And it makes you a great tank when you do use it. Now, Rampage does get caught out a little bit, but we're able to head down. And, we're unfortunately being body blocked by Rampage. Bellica gets a great knock-up on us, and hey, this kind of ends the engagement, but this is going to allow us to pick up our second Fangtooth. And, hey, that was great. You could see that rotation over there. When Rampage got caught out, my team rotated, and that made his, silly choice of being caught out, it turned it into a great engagement. We ended up getting a kill for it, which, hey, that's huge. Now, I thought people were going to actually peel off to deal with that Steel. It'd have been nice if Rampage would have, because, I was fairly low on health. And we end up actually getting, into a pretty poor situation. Our Wraith is kind of lagging. You can see he was kind of jumping around there, which he does say that a few times. But, hey, it is what it is. We picked up a Fang and a Countess for ADC support and solo laner, so it definitely wasn't the best engagement. But hey, two Fangs, we're keeping it out of the enemy hands. We're not doing terrible. Now, once I spawn back in, I go ahead and, throw on Guard Piercer, so I'm hitting a little bit harder. And I'm going to just kind of run around, see what I need to do. I see Countess is in that solo lane, so I'm going to get this lane pushing in the right direction. And then, I'm going to go ahead and set it. So, take out those ranged minions, kind of hit those other minions a little bit because my wave was kind of hurt already. And then head to mid lane. Missed my subjugate again. Guys, so bad. I'm what, like, I only got 2 and they were 1 back to back. It's terrible. But we're going to go ahead and go in on this Countess. Me and Wraith are able to take her out. And, again, guys, we're not getting solo kills. We're getting team kills, and that's what is important. Not only is that very helpful in the sense that you're getting farm from getting assists, but it's very helpful in the sense that means you're not getting caught out by yourself a lot. That means you're working as a team a little bit better, and that's really what you want to see. Now, we try to push down the duo lane, but we see a big enemy rotation, so we're going to be careful. Steel jumps down, and, our Rampage is there. Our Wraith is here. We're going to go ahead and go in on him. Now, Steel gets rocked. I'm going to go ahead and, use that Colossal Blow, get him out of the fight for a little bit. That way, my team can focus on Terra. We're able to take out Terra and then wrap up Steel. And that's another way you can use that Colossal Blow. You can separate the team, and that's absolutely huge. Now, my team, we kind of had, a difference of opinion. I thought it was best to go for Fang right now, and, our ADC is going for the duo lane, and our Rampage is going for that mid lane, and hey, it ends up working out. It would have been nice to focus efforts a little bit more. But, hey, I really think Reactor is, hugely important right now. And so I definitely want to take it out. Countess is unfortunately going in on Murdoch. And, our phase heads over there, but wasn't in time to save her. which is unfortunate. But again, guys, we didn't have concentrated effort. You know, I thought it would be best to pick up Raptor at that point, and you know, we were all right there. We could have all focused Raptor and then went to a lane all together. And instead, since we had that split up, we made progress in that mid lane and picked up Fang, but you know, we had a death, and we could have made much more happen if we would have just worked together as a team. Now, I do go ahead and push my lane, but since I've got Steel's presence, you know, hey, I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to head over to our duo lane. You know, there's quite a bit enemy presence over here, so, you know, I want to be here to make sure nothing happens. Our Murdoch and Wraith are in the jungle, and, you know, Terra starts heading in, so I'm going to head over. Now, I missed my subjugating. Guys, I thought I hit that one, but I guess I didn't, or maybe she blocked it, I don't know. But we're able to go in. We chase her into this pit. I did not see Countess coming in until, you know, I'd already used my Phantom Rush or whatever it's called. But, hey, no problem. We're able to secure that Countess kill, and then we're going to go ahead and take out Terra as well. Now, I try to zip out of here, but unfortunately that Bellica bomb takes me out. And, hey, you know, we got Countess and Terra. We took out a mid lane and a jungle for a mid lane and a solo laner, so, you know, it wasn't the best engagement, but, you know, we didn't really lose a whole lot either. This does allow me to put on Unbroken Spirit, though, so, you know, hopefully those knockups, things like that, they will not be quite as bad. And since they do have a pretty high ability damage team, you know, Terra's got that swirly cleave ability, Bellica's got her stun and bomb, Countess is nothing but ability damage, so hopefully we can, you know, make something happen by throwing on this card. You know, we'll avoid a lot of that. Now, once I do spawn back in, we kind of get into this really just kind of poor engagement here at the Raptor pit. And you can see Steel and Bellica are there. They actually end up taking out our Murdoch, which, you know, hey, that's unfortunate. I'm able to knock Steel away, and we kind of separate this Countess, and for whatever reason, she runs back through this way. And once our phase gets that root, you know, Rampage gets that rock, you know, hey, we're able to make very short work of her. You know, that was a great root by phase, great rock by Rampage, and that really kind of limits the abilities of the enemy team. You know, I don't want to engage on this at all, and, you know, phase is pulling me out, which, you know, I guess that's telling me, hey, I'm not there. But, you know, we don't want to engage on that. If we lose Fang right here, that's okay. We don't want to engage on that. And you can see Rampage heads in, which, you know, man, that was just a poor choice. Hopefully he gets out, but, you know, it was much better to just let them have Fangtooth and not risk going in. You know, you might have been risking trying to get, you know, a Flame Steel, but it's much better just to leave that alone. Now, I'm going to go ahead and back and throw on Trapper. Now, I really like Trapper on Sevarog. That attack speed's just so nice. And we go for a really odd prime. You know, Rampage headed over here, and he started going for it, and it's like, hey, I'm here too. And we end up picking up Prime, which, you know, we did lose a couple of people in the process of that. You know, we lost our ADC and our support, which I don't think was the best option, but me being there, you know, definitely ensured they didn't steal it. And, you know, like I said, guys, to me, that was probably not the best time to go for it, but it was way better than letting him solo it. Now, once I get a couple of minions into the tower, I say, you know what, I'm just going to go for the tower. Steel ends up peeling off and just heading in on me, which I'm happy. You know, I didn't think he was going to do that, so, you know, that's why I wasn't just straight up going in on the tower. But once I got those few minions in there with my siege minions, you know, we decided, hey, let's make that happen. And with Prime, we were able to make very short work of that tower. Now, I want to keep this pressure up in this lane. You know, I'm kind of messing around with Steel, but I'm not really wanting to fight him. I want to keep that pressure up, and then this is going to allow me to rotate to our duo lane, Steel's going to stay there and deal with that lane, which is, that's what we want. We want him to stay engaged elsewhere. And me, Murdoch, and Rampage all head over to the duo lane, and we're able to take down this inhib, no problem at all. You see, oh man, we two-shot that inhib. It was already low, but holy moly, the damage. Now, go ahead and get my root onto that Steel, and we're able to ult out. Wraith hit us with that surprise, I think it's called. Yeah, there it is, the buff. But he hits us with that ultimate, and we're able to back out. Now, my team goes for Fangtooth. Now, I don't need to be at Fang. I really, I don't offer just an entire lot of damage, and having my entire team there, I don't need to be there. Especially with two of the enemy team down, I don't need to be there. I can go to a lane, help push a lane, and sure enough, that's what we're doing. We're going to head to mid, get this lane pushing in the right direction. We've got 4 Fangs, so we're at a huge advantage right now. And with my team, they're kind of showing up, and we're having some people head over to that solo lane to deal with that set lane. And, me and Rampage here in mid, we're just kind of keeping an eye on everything and really waiting for that next play to happen. Now, I'm going to go ahead and root this Sparrow, and man, I have no idea where that Terra came from, but she ends up showing up. I engaged on that fight without knowing where the enemy team was, and that was on me, and you can see the guys, the CC game, holy moly. But since I have that Unbroken Spirit, I'm healing all that CC up, and it does allow me to survive. But, unfortunately, our Rampage goes down, our Wraith goes down, and we haven't got any kills so far. Now, this Countess is chasing me, which I'm not worried about Countess at all, and I'm really hoping my team backs up. FaZe is here, and I'm going to try to head into, maybe get FaZe out, and unfortunately, FaZe goes down, and then I go down. We get a team wipe, and oh, man. I didn't realize that me going in on that would have been a team wipe, or I definitely wouldn't have. That was a very bad call on my part. That whole fight, I started that entire fight, and everything about that was a bad choice on my part. Everything I did right there was just a terrible, terrible choice. And, having a team wipe at this critical moment, that this is absolutely huge. Although we did take out their ADC, they are going to be able to push down to our mid inhib and actually take it out, which is, that's huge. Now, once I do spawn back in, we've got our waves pushing pretty good. We've got a Winion wave heading over to that solo lane, and our duo lane is naturally set. Now, I go ahead and ping, hey, attack Prime, and sure enough, we're able to take out Prime, and we get another Fangtooth. So, we're not doing bad. I try to get my Subjugate off onto Bellica to remove that spell shield, but, I'm so terrible I missed it. And, it would be nice if Wraith would take that from her, or, anybody would, but haven't done it yet. Now, for whatever reason, our Murdoch decides to go in on that Terra, and he went ahead of me, so we kind of get into that engagement, and we're able to knock her away before our Murdoch does go down, which, that lucky, I can't believe they didn't just absolutely erase him. That was a poor choice on his part, but it is what it is. Now, Rampage did end up taking down that other inhib. He's being a champion. He's died for that inhib, which, hey, that's worth it in my opinion. And especially since, their Steel was taken out, hey, that great job on his part. We're able to actually go in on this Terra, and, we miss our Subjugate again. But we end up taking her out, which, hey, great. We still have Prime, so hopefully we can really get some lanes pushed and, maybe even get some progress in this mid lane. This is the only lane that doesn't have an inhib up for them, and it's the only lane that we have that doesn't have an inhib. So hopefully we can make something happen. Unfortunately, Countess gets out. She's got her invis, so we got to be careful of that. And we're just going to continue to push down this mid lane. Now, my thought behind this was I'm going to go ahead and tank this inhib, tank the damage from everybody. My team's going to go in and take down the inhib, but unfortunately, Wraith and Murdoch had a different idea. I really think we could have got that inhib there if they'd have just, you know, both of them are running super high damage builds. I think we could have got that no problem, but hey, you know, we all survived. We didn't really lose anything in that engagement. It's not that big of a deal. Sparrow heads in and uses her ult, and, you know, hey, we need to get out. But Wraith is taking a ton of damage, so I'm going to go ahead and body block some of that damage, and then I'm able to actually dip out. And, you know, hey, we all survived that encounter as well, so, you know, no problem at all. We're making some decent plays, and with, you know, having those two inhibs down, guys, that's going to force their team to split, and they can no longer set lanes. So we can really make some good progress with having those two outside lanes down. From here, we go ahead and secure our 6th Reactor. Yeah, that's right, guys, 6 of them. And, man, I think I'm going to run a class on how to miss subjugates, because I think I only hit, like, 3 of them this entire game. Oh, God. Oh, I feel so bad, man. But, yeah. Really, guys, Sevarog does take a little bit to get used to if you do want to play him. Because as subjugated, it's got, you know, this long delay on it that you're just not expecting. Now, Rampage was heading in from that top jungle, so I was really waiting for him to, you know, head over, and, you know, unfortunately, he didn't throw a rock or anything from the beginning. You know, that would have been nice, but, hey, is what it is. My team is actually able to wrap up, you know, this Terra kill, and, you know, guys, the CC game, like, you can see just the amount of CC within a team. It's crazy. I'm not a big fan of just how much CC is in Paragon, but is what it is. You know, we end up getting 4 of them down right there, you know, which I was the sacrificial lamb in a sense, but hey, it ended up working out great, and we're going to end up, you know, being able to siege this last inhib and take it out. Now, once I do spawn back in, you know, we've got to deal with a little bit of a turtle shell team. You know, their Terra ended up DCing, and then she comes back, so, you know, she actually got a legitimate DC, I guess. But, you know, that probably wasn't going to be a huge factor within this match, you know, with only having 1 inhib down on our side and all 3 of theirs down. You know, 6 fangs versus their 1. You know, we've done a much better job so far, and we end up picking up another fang, so we have 7 fangs, guys, which is huge. Now we're going to end up heading over to our Rampage. He gets an amazing stun onto that steel. We're able to root him, and then we get that colossal blow, knocking him into the wall. You know, CC to death, guys. I mean, that's the name of this game. And we're going to end up picking up another prime. So this is what our 3rd prime of the match. Oh, feels bad, man. The pains of solo queue. But we pick up this 3rd prime, and, you know, we do end up losing our ADC and our support as well as our mid lane. So, you know, it's just our tank and our solo laner that have prime, which, you know, working as a team is absolutely huge, guys. And instead of chasing kills, if we would have all just went in and picked up prime, you know, hey, we wouldn't have lost that mid lane or our Murdoch in that situation. You saw they were kind of ran into the jungle there, and hey, that's unfortunate, but is what it is. So, you know, from here we're just gonna kind of march down the lane, hopefully in this. Now, right before I do in, I gotta show off. Hey, I soloed Countess, guys, and I'm very proud of that. Which, I mean, you know, it's Countess. Who can't solo her? What tank can't? But we end up actually taking her out, and, you know, hey, it feels good, man. But, again, you know, getting these kills right here at the core, this is absolutely huge. This is how you deal with a turtle shelling team, guys. You have to pick them off, and, you know, it's very hard for them to turtle shell when there's 1 or 2 of them left. And so you can see we were just able to shove those minions in there and actually end that match. But, again, guys, hey, I'm not the best Sevarog, but I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. Don't be too hard on me, guys. I know, I'm just absolutely terrible. But if you did enjoy, show me some love. Leave me a comment. Think about subscribing. Join our Discord if you haven't done it. I'd love to play with some of y'all, and we got some cool stuff coming up. And as always, guys, I'll see y'all in the next video.